Japan Station is made possible in part by Patreon support. If you would like to make sure that I can keep bringing you more content like this, then head on over to japankyo.com/Patreon and sign up for as little as $1 a month.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Japan Station.
Welcome to Japan Station, a production of japankyo.com. This is the podcast where we teach you everything you should know about Japan, including some stuff that maybe you don't have to know about, but they're very fun. I'm your host, Tony, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Ryan.
Ryan.
Today I'm the main host. I just take that title.
Okay, so Ryan is the main host, and he told me to introduce the topic for today. So I'm going to do
I have hostly power, so I'm ordering you to do everything. So I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my drink.
Today, we're going to talk about, slang that will make you sound like an Edo period shady street merchant. So if you've ever wanted...
No one will understand you, but you'll get a kick out of it yourself.
No, surprisingly, a lot of the slang that came up during that era, and we are going to go a little bit into the Meiji area as well. So it's not purely Edo, but a lot of the stuff comes from the Edo. A lot of this stuff is still in use, like widely used. So this is like a lot of the stuff people don't know that actually originated like from the Edo period. It's just become totally normal slang. So it's very interesting to find that out. So we've got 10 words here and we're going to go through them and I'm going to break them down. You don't need to know Japanese. I'm going to break them down for you and I'm going to tell you why they're interesting. All right. So
I got to say, just coming, since we're both like from a linguistics like field, what is slang? Because I'm of the opinion slang doesn't exist. It's just normal words.
Slang is what I think. Honestly, I think slang is just a different word for new. Basically,
like, it's not even new. It's from like freaking Edo. It's just a word.
No, well, at this, what I mean is like at this point in, that's true. Some of these words are still considered, still widely thought to be slang.
It's like people have this idea that this group of words aren't real words. I'm doing air quotes. They're slang. But like, if you go from like a scientific definition, there is nothing you can make that distinguishes them from any other word. It's just a word.
It's just like old people don't like these words. It's something like
basically.
That. Yeah.
It has nothing to do with how old they are. It has nothing to do with what they mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the perfect example of this is the last one that I'm going to talk about. It perfectly proves your point. But we'll leave that for the end. But I think just about every single one of these words proves your point. But we'll go through them one by one, and we can talk more about that as we go through these. So let's see, what's number one?
So I'm going to say you wrote sakura, but then below it says sakuro.
Yeah. Yes, because that might be the origin.
Okay.
So indeed, sakura. But this isn't the cherry blossom sakura. This is a different kind of sakura, and it's not even a flower. It's it's okay. It's basically like a fake audience member or a fake shopper or a hype man or hype woman.
Okay.
Like somebody
I can't believe these prices.
Yeah. You mean buy one and get another one for free? Like, oh my God.
Japan would never dare to do that. It would be buy 4, get the 5th one for 5% off?
Longtime listeners will know that Ryan has brought up that kind of thing before, yes. So
Japan, famously bad sales. I have more stories about that, actually, of just how bad the discounts and stuff are here.
Oh my God. I want to ask you, but we're going to go off on a tangent. So anyway, so sakura is basically like your undisclosed promotion in a sense, right? Like using a more modern term, it's like somebody that's getting paid to shill something, especially in a public setting.
It's
like
a shill.
Yeah, a shill, basically. Yeah, you're in a store and you're trying to get people to buy a certain product and you're saying like, oh, this is so good, but and the people think that you're a genuine customer, but you're not. You're being paid by the guy behind the scenes, like the manager or whatever. So there's it's believed that this goes back to Edo period, and specifically like there were these people in the audience in kabuki shows that would like call out the kabuki actors and hype them up, and they would show up for the show and then leave as soon as like the job was done. They would get to watch most or all of the show for free, and they might even get paid. And the reason there's a couple of reasons why this might get called sakura. One, like you mentioned earlier, sakuro, which can mean like to work. Yeah, so but it sounds like sakura, right? Also, there's the whole idea of these fake customers showing up all of a sudden and then leaving all of a sudden, kind of like how the cherry blossoms will show up for like a week and then they disappear, like they fall off and they're gone. So perhaps that was another reason or a different reason why this might have ended up being called sakura. And typically I've seen this sakura written with katakana, so not
Okay.
kanji.
I don't know why this reminds me of the Simpsons joke where they go to watch Cirque du Soleil and like they ask for a volunteer and the volunteer goes on stage and then starts flying around the stage in the sky. And then like Marge's like, oh, why do they always pick the volunteer with the wires on them?
That's it. That's exactly it. Yes. Yeah. So and as you can imagine, as we were talking about, shady street vendors, yeah, it seems like maybe Edo street vendors also use this slang, to or slang, whatever, this word to yeah, hype up their wares, right? To get somebody in the crowd like, oh my God, this mochi is so good.
This is the best I've ever had.
Yeah. Let's go into number two. This is very much a word that shady street vendors would use back in the day. But this I believe this one actually popped up more in the Meiji period, maybe not so much in the Edo period, but there were still shady street vendors in the Meiji period. But this is deka, deka, and deka means detective. It's
No,
not
deka
like
means big.
or deka, yeah, deka means big. Yeah, but deka with no like glottal stop at the end. That's a more informal way of saying detective because keiji is the a typical way to say detective. But deka is very commonly used. Like for example, there's TV shows that are called like something deka, like a famous 1980s TV show called Skiban Deka. There's a bunch of TV shows called deka, something deka. Anyway, this is like classic code speech. It's basically the original word backwards and then abbreviated. So the original word this comes from is kakusode junsa. Junsa is a word used to refer to a like police officer. Kakusode means like an angular sleeve. Sode is sleeve, and kaku is like an angle, or usually like a corner or an angle. And the reason for this is that back in the early Meiji period, like these detectives, they would wear Japanese clothing. And so they had like the kimono type, like clothing with a sleeve, right? Like the square sleeve, as opposed to like a Western sleeve that's around your, like tight around your arm. So
if their clothes are so famous, they're named after their clothes, aren't they like a very bad detective?
well, I think it's that the criminals were trying to
I feel like if like from down the street you can be like, look, there's a detective coming, but
true,
like
true.
not
That is
doing
a
a
good
good
point.
job.
That is a good point. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, oh, check out my sleeves. You know who I am. Yeah,
Quick, hide all the stuff.
yeah. But anyway, they were called kakusode junsa. And then you drop off the junsa, you get rid of that. You end up with kakusode. Then you write it backwards. De so kuka. And then you get rid of the middle two hiragana.
This is too much work. You can just cook the fish.
Call back to our mochi episode. Just cook the damn fish. Don't throw yourself in the fire. Just cook the fish.
That's my new phrase now for when something has too many steps. You can just cook the fish.
It was probably a fairly big fish because that fox is, foxes aren't small either. Uh, oh, I'm so sorry, guys. Go back and listen to the mochi episode. Anyway, so kakusode backwards, you delete the middle two, and you end up with deka.
This is something that definitely back in the day, some guy had to explain to others what he was doing because no one got it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so you guys know this word. Well, I cut off half of it, and then I took the last character and the first character and inverted them. And they're like, why?
No, first you cut off the ending, then you invert it, then you cut off the two middle ones, and then you're left with the word.
You can cut out the middle and then invert it. It still works.
Yeah, so deka, deka. And like I said, this is a totally like commonly heard used word these days, right? So yeah, it's not weird at all, but it has its roots, back in the shady street vendor days, I guess. Huh? All right, number three. So we have posharu. Posharu, this is a word that I can't say I've ever used, but apparently so this is another, there's some inverting going on, and so this comes from French originally, and
Which means it probably doesn't resemble the French at all.
exactly, yeah. So
Yeah, so posha
yeah,
was
yeah.
hat,
So poshawa, yeah,
chapeau.
in French, means hat or cap. I guess I'm not sure if it's hat or cap. And this comes from chapeau in French, right? Chapeau. So this is backwards, I guess. Posha. Yeah, already it's backwards. Okay, so posha. And then this got turned into a verb, posharu. And posharu means like to fall through, like for a plan or a project, to fail, to flop, to collapse, to fizzle out. And part of the reason for this is that like you when you surrender, you like take your cap off and you wave it around, I guess. Like there's that association with a hat. So that got adapted little by little and ended up becoming a verb, hosharu. Like,
This maybe was more intuitive back in the days when people actually wore hats.
yeah, yeah. And or like even if I mean nowadays, even if you wear a hat, it's not like waving it around means like I give up. So uh
But there was
yeah,
an era where everyone wore hats and had gestures with them, and maybe that was like understandable, easier then.
yeah, exactly. But again, I'm not saying that I'm sure people understand this word, but I've never heard it used in conversation. So I don't think it's that commonly used these days, but it exists. Sharu.
I think you're just making up stuff now to screw with our
Yeah,
audience.
I've just decided to start turning words backwards and deleting parts of it and saying they're Japanese. Yeah. Okay, we've got more shady street vendor slang. Mappo. Mappo. Okay, so this is another police term. This means police. And apparently these days, or in more modern times, this word is more associated with like delinquents. They would use this term to
So the
refer.
exact opposite of a policeman.
Well, no, what I mean is like delinquents would use this word to refer to police.
Oh,
Like, uh, let's run away, guys. It's the fuzz, right? Like that's what the young kids say, right? Like, uh,
definitely. I
yeah,
hear that like every day.
yeah. It's the fuzz. Yeah. I can't think of another old fashioned term. The coppers. You'll never catch me alive, coppers. That one. Um, so this comes from again. This is I believe Meiji. That's mappo. Yes, that's mappo. So
Satsuma
yeah, well, Satsumaimo means sweet potato, but Satsuma also refers to like the southern area of Kyushu. And apparently, back in like the Meiji period, two-thirds of the police force in Edo, I'm sure roughly, was from the Satsuma region of Japan.
That
So
is a very strange thing.
yeah, they just everybody said like, okay, we're gonna go be police officers, and they all went to Edo or Tokyo. And so then I guess street vendors and delinquents or criminals started calling them Satsuma-bo because this bo comes from like a kid or a boy. So it's like a suffix and it's kind of like the Satsuma boys. And then this got shortened eventually to just mappo. The ma and the po just became mappo. So that meant police. And yeah, even in more modern times, like I said, juvenile delinquents and like this kind of, like I don't know, like thug kind of people might use this word. I don't know how widely it is used these days, but in the descriptions of this, I said like even though most people these days might consider this a word used by delinquents and all that, actually this has a long history going back to blah blah blah, like what I just said. So mappo. That's another word that you can use when you hear the coppers coming. You go, it's the mappo.
Run, guys! It's the mappo.
Yeah. we've got another word here, boru, and this is a word that comes from the Taisho period. So actually, after Meiji period, Taisho 6. You guys can figure that out. No, it's what is it, 1917, was it?
Yes, yes.
After World War One. Yeah. After World War One, apparently there was like price gouging, and so the Japanese government implemented a law preventing, against price gouging. And price gouging in Japanese, you can call it bori, b bouri, but it's pronounced bori. This literally means like explosive profit, right? So this is charging too much for something, like when there's a shortage of stuff, like after a natural disaster, whatever, people might want to, charge like 10
Or
times the
when
amount.
nothing's going on, but people think something might go on, so toilet paper
Toilet
disappears.
paper. Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this bori apparently got turned into a verb, and it turned into boru, boru. So this again means like price gouging, that kind of. So boru.
Can you use it in a sentence? I was just like, who is the subject? Is the object the subject, or is the person raising the price the subject?
So I just looked up a sample sentence, and yeah, like we suspected, it was the subject ends up becoming the thing that is doing the boruing, the price gouging. So here's a sample sentence. あの店はボルからもう行かない. So that shop prices its things like ridiculously, like it's ridiculously expensive. So I'm not going to go there anymore. That's what that means. So yeah, so あいつボルから, like that guy is always price gouging, like, so yeah, subject would be the person. Next up we have gasaire. Okay, this is another like backwards and add a thing and take away a thing, whatever. So gasaire, it sounds like kasaire, which is,
It really does. That's what I
yeah,
thought when I first looked at it.
that's what I thought too when I first saw it, and I saw, oh no, it's actually a, voice that has the duct and the little two lines. Um, Kasaire is like a thing where you put your umbrella into, like an umbrella holder, but this is gasaire. Apparently, so this means like to search somebody's house. Uh, and so the gasa is actually backwards for saga, which comes
Oh,
from
okay,
sagasu.
Sakasu.
Yeah,
Hmm.
search, right? And I guess they added ide for whatever reason. I don't know, to make it sound like something else. So gasaire means like to search, like a police searching your house, whatever. And so you can imagine, street vendors. It's like, oh, the mappo is coming. They're gonna do a gasaire, so watch out.
This has got me curious, just like in linguistics, like when did the whole inverting a word stop? Because they don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that's not a common thing in Japanese anymore. Yeah.
Like by this logic, sketo bodo should be
Bodo
like
keto.
both
Oh well,
bosu?
no, not even that. It should be like shortened and
Sketo bodo. So it should be like dosu, right? But like that doesn't happen. It's just skebo. So like or like dorakue, Doragon Questo. So it should be todo.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Because this isn't that long ago if it's Meiji, and it's a
yeah.
pretty big linguistic change to happen to just like completely change how you like make a contraction.
It's not a common thing anymore. Like we've done an episode on like Gao language and bubble era language, and that, well, okay, so actually bubble era language did do this a little bit. It was a very like niche thing with like in the Japanese entertainment TV industry where they would say stuff like shisu and zagin. So shisu was sushi, zagin was ginza, and certain other words where they would flip it around, but that's not popular anymore at all. That's like really old fashioned. Like if you were to
Yeah,
sincerely say
I
that.
guess when it becomes associated with a time period, if you're not in that time period, it looks like out of date, so then they don't want to do
True,
it.
true, 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 true. Yeah, but common present, like present day, like people in their teens or whatever 20s. I don't think any slang that they're using is like this.
At least off the top of my head, I can't think of any that does this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
there's rules for how it works now, and it's usually you take the first almost everything is based off English now. And
mm,
it's like the first character of all the component words. Like Doragon Questo becomes well, I guess it's two for that one, Dorakue. I guess you keep two, because it becomes too short if you don't.
yeah. I am
Sumabura, you don't just say
Sumabura. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Smash Brothers.
you don't just say like Subu. Like you need to keep two sounds.
Yeah. 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 Like I would be curious if, well, although like stuff like mappo, right? I think it is still used these days and probably by criminals, uh, or people, criminal adjacent. So I am curious about, because like we're saying, this is more like on the shady side of, language. Like this is the kind of stuff that people doing naughty stuff might use. Not all of it, but some of it,
So you're
a
saying
lot of it.
criminals don't say dorakuwa, they say todo.
Yeah, yeah, they might. Yeah.
Where does the number go? Is it like first then? Like san todo is my favorite?
No, they don't say the number. They just use their fingers.
Todo, and then just hold up three fingers or something.
Yeah,
It's very difficult if you're communicating online.
yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So no,
Or
but
if it's beyond 10.
yeah, yeah. Beyond 10, it's
They're trying to talk about Final Fantasy 16. They're just like, how do you do it with an elongated Final Fantasy? Like, how do you do it if it starts with a bull?
I don't know.
Jifa.
Yeah, yeah. I don't even know anymore, man. But it is a very interesting thing how, yeah, all these like words that we're talking about from like the late 1800s into the early 1900s, maybe early 1800s as well. Yeah, there's something going on here. I'm not sure why so many of them are like backwards like this. Here's another one, another backwards one. So zubora. Zubora means sloppy, messy, but apparently this came from bozu, which means like a monk.
Or a
And
kid.
or it can mean a kid, yeah. But apparently it seems like this might have been inspired by like a sloppy monk. Uh, so bo z, and then what's it called? You flip it, right? And then it becomes zubo, and then for some reason there was a da added in there. I
Is
guess
it plural? Is that why?
I'm not sure.
All the
But
monks are sloppy. Like
yeah,
monks are known for just being like messy people.
I mean some of them maybe they're lazy monks. Yeah, becauseズボが変化した言葉だと言われてます。Yeah, so it's said that this is the case. That it was Bozu, right? So that they're these training, these monks aren't training, they're skipping on their training, they're kind of sloppy, and then they were called Zubo. So originally they were called Zubo, these sloppy monks. And then I guess the last u got dropped off and
As I'm looking at it, like I noticed the character U and Da are kind of similar. Maybe it was like a handwritten thing and they just confused it.
that is true. Yeah, Ra and U do look similar in hiragana, especially like if
Because
you're
this is
writing
from a
with a
handwritten
brush.
era too, so that
Yeah,
would have been possible.
yeah, yeah. True. Yeah. So that's not a 100% absolutely confirmed thing, but that is seems to be like a common theory for zubura. So zubura na something that would be the way that you use it. Copy. And zubura is certainly, yeah, it is used today. All right. So we're coming close to the end here, but we've got just a few more. And number eight. What's number eight?
Gakuran.
Gakuran. So this is definitely used today. This one is not so much a shady street vendor, but it does have roots in the Edo
They
period.
might become one.
Yeah, well, or some of these guys might be delinquents. So, delinquents aspiring shady street vendors. So Gakudan just means the classic Japanese boys school uniform with the high collar kind of blazer, buttons on the front, usually black. You see tons of anime characters wearing one of these, coats, these jackets. That's the Gakudan. Gaku basically just means school. Ran, and this is the interesting part. So Ran comes from Oranda. Okay. And Oranda, of course, Holland. And back in the day, back in the Edo period, Oranda, like Holland was the West, right? Like this was just like a generic term for the West. And that's why, for example, like Rangaku, which means like literally it means like Dutch studies, but it kind of in a more general sense means like Western, like knowledge in Western academics. This was a term. And also Ran was a shortened form of Randa, which in itself is a shortened form of Oranda, but this was used to refer to Western clothing. So Ran was, a shortened form of Western clothing, meaning Western clothing. So you slap together Gaku, which means school, and Western clothing, Ran, and you end up with gakuran. This kind of is more similar to like the more typical modern way of like, shortening it down to four mora or syllable, four mora or
It's because
syllable.
it ends in you can't start with it. That's my theory.
That's true. Yeah, you can't. That would be very strange to start a Japanese word with an n
Or else
sound.
you're like, ndagaku. Like,
Yeah, dagaku. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Also, this isn't a criminal word, right? It's just a normal word for the Western style Japanese school uniform. So gakuran. But a lot of shortening there. We went from oranda to randa to ran, and then that gets slapped onto gaku. Number 9, neta, neta. Okay, so this one also isn't particularly like a criminal specific one, but I'm sure some shady street vendors might use it. So neta, probably most people, if you've heard of this word, you might know it because it's used to refer to the topping or the fish part or the like. I guess you could argue the main part of sushi, right? The thing that goes on top of the rice. That's called neta in Japanese. Also, this is a popular word among comedians, entertainers. So if you write your joke, whatever, that's your neta. That's kind of like your main uh, content, I guess you could call it. It's almost like content. Whether you, like, for example, if you're doing a manzai, like Japanese comedy, like your concept, your idea, the thing that you write about, that's your neta, right? So
this is netabare then, right?
yeah, exactly. So there's the term
Okay.
netabare, which means spoiler in Japanese. And so neta is kind of like the core, the main thing there that bare comes from bareru, which means to
Yeah,
like,
like to expose or something.
yeah, to let out a secret, to expose, exactly. So netabare, to let out like the kind of the core fundamental thing that means to spoil something when we're talking about a movie or whatever. You say that actually Iron Man was secretly Spider-Man the whole time. Like, no, don't tell me that. That's a spoiler. So
Spider-Man was also Spider-Man the whole time, and they're all Spider-Man.
they're everybody's Spider-Man, exactly, because Spider-Man makes money. But that is neta. That is neta, and that comes from tane, tane, which means seed. So yet another backwards word here, tane, seed. Yes, it means seed, but apparently it comes from the phrase like seikatsu no tane or meshi no tane. And this basically just means like what you earn your living off of, right? Like the your what's that called? Your bread, your cheese, right? Like that's maybe comparable in English, right? Like meshi no tane, like what your food comes from, right? You earn your money from selling stuff. That's where you earn your food. That's the seed that ends up giving you your food, right? So it's
We
more.
need to like bring these directly to English so spoiler can become like, don't expose the bread.
Yeah, don't explode the seed, man. Don't explode the seed. Or no, you gotta reverse it so it'd be the Etsy. So come on, guys, don't explode the Etsy. Like I wanna watch the movie. Like what the hell are you talking about? And apparently, these Edo period vendors would refer to their wares as neta as well. Maybe not everybody, but this was a term used at the time, apparently. So, whatever they were selling, that was the seed of, their making a living, right? That's where they made their money. So that was their seed, that was their neta. And neta is totally used these days, like especially in the entertainment industry and in sushi as well. So just so you know, very, very
Yeah,
common.
Neta is probably the most commonly used of all these ones so far.
It might be, yeah, it might be the most like non-criminal associated word here. And gakuran, I guess, but I would
I
argue
guess.
that's probably used even more than that.
Yeah, I
Except,
feel like you don't need to say the word Gakudan, even though the object is around.
yes, except for our last one. This might be the most commonly used one.
Yeah, this one is like
And
if some of the other ones are like once a week, once a day, this is like once every three sentences.
yes, especially among some people. Yeah. Yabai. So this is an infamous Japanese word.
Because it
And
means everything.
because it means everything. Exactly. So more modern usage, I would say it's generally
Hold
a
up.
positive word.
I just want to read like
Yeah,
the meanings you wrote in order because
yeah,
it's funny, and then we can explain.
yeah.
So this can mean dangerous, risky, awful, terrible, crap, terrific, amazing, cool, crazy, insane, not normal, unhinged, and extreme.
Yes, that is, I just copy pasted the dictionary entry there. And
Yeah,
that's
but
all
this can
true.
mean it's terrible. It can also mean it's great.
Yeah, yeah, it means
And it's
everything.
not always clear from context.
Yeah, it could mean sexy, it could mean good looking, it could mean
Yeah.
delicious. Like it could mean basically anything. It means
I
anything
guess it
but
has a
mediocre.
strong meaning.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
mean mild.
exactly. Anything but mediocre, whether good or bad, it can be used to mean
What
that.
if it's extremely mediocre?
まあ、普通すぎてやばい. It's so like normal that it's, like
Or
ridiculously
extremely
boring.
tasteless,
Yeah.
like for food?
But like, for example, like 普通すぎてやばい could be implying that it's like boring to the point that it's incredible. Like you didn't know
Mm.
that something could be that boring, right?
But I'm
Uh,
going to put it there because we have a sentence that's understandable. A lot of times it's literally just yabai
yeah, yeah,
with no
exactly.
context.
Yeah. Now, generally speaking, I get the impression that yabai is used in a more positive sense now in
I
modern times.
I think recently it's not hugely. I want to go like 60-40, 70-30 split, but
Mhm,
I
mhm.
do think mostly.
Yeah. And
What would your split be? Because I think the negative one's still around,
oh, it is,
especially
it
for
is.
dangerous.
Yeah.
If something's like a close call and like oh yabai
Yeah.
yabakatta or something.
Yeah. I would maybe go 70-30, but yeah, majority good or generally in a very vague, general, ambiguous good. But there is definitely some like, oh crap, I messed up. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's unclear because I was thinking when it's negative, I feel like it's usually in the dangerous, risky than the awful or terrible.
Hmm.
Like you don't really say like that movie was yabai, meaning it was bad.
Hmm. Yeah. If I out of context, if you tell me like a movie is yabai, I would assume. Well, first of all, I'd be surprised that you'd be talking like a like a gyaru or something. But second, but um second, yeah, I'd probably assume you meant it in a positive way. But unless you set it up first that like, oh my god, the acting was so bad, like, and then at the end you say, "いや本当にやばかったね," like that was really bad.
Hmm.
Then you would interpret it in the bad sense.
Yeah.
So it's a
See, I
very
guess without context, it just means strong emotion in some direction.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, but and as I said at the very beginning, I think this word proves exactly what you were saying at the beginning. That like at this point, is this really still slang? Like,
I think if you ask people, they'll say yes, but like, why?
yeah, because well, it's, netabare, spoiler alert, this has been around since the Edo period, apparently. Uh,
Yeah, so this is like a 200-year-old phrase. It's not new.
yeah,
It's older than things that people would call official Japanese.
yeah,
I
it's
guess in their mind, just if it's conversational, they think it's slang. Like it doesn't matter anything else.
yeah, yeah. If it, I mean, ultimately, yeah, if it feels casual, informal, and feels new, and I think emphasis on feel because this is much more
Like,
about feel than something provable.
like for what was it, Kiko Henko?
Like weather change.
Like climate change. Yeah,
Oh
the
yeah,
new word
yeah,
for climate change because we
mhm,
got rid of
yeah,
that phrase. Definitely did not exist in Edo period,
yeah,
but no one would say that is slang.
yeah,
And this is like over 100 years older, but people will say it's slang. So like, why?
yeah, yeah. Because old people say it is, I guess that
Yeah, basically, like society has determined this is slang, therefore it's slang
yeah, and
based on
because
nothing.
young people use it more than older people. I mean that
With
kind of.
yabai, I don't even know if that's true. Like old people. I mean,
I mean, if we're talking about like 80s people in their 80s, yeah, I don't think
yeah, I guess
I
the
use it.
image you don't think of like a 96-year-old like yabai,
Yeah,
but like 60s, it's not rare. Like no one's gonna look at you weird if like in a business meeting like oh yabakata.
yeah. And like, I mean, and look, we've done an episode about Gyata, right? In the 90s, like those, young women who were like 20 years old in like 1992 or whatever.
Yeah.
What's it been now? Like 30 years? Now they're like 50 something, right? So I'm sure some of them are still using Yabai.
it's not even like I honestly I don't even think it's affiliated with Gyaru anymore. Like
Yeah.
everyone uses it.
No, no, it's not. It's not. But I'm just using that as an
Like okay,
example.
I in my classrooms, like right now as a teacher, I have like a little spinning wheel to like pick a number for student.
Uh-huh.
And like if a student is like number 10 and I call 11, very often like, oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like like it was a close call. Like
Hmm.
not Garu at all.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's totally commonly used. Exactly. So again, yeah, it's weird that this is still quote unquote slang. Uh, I
I'll
guess.
also point out like my complaint about this isn't Japanese. Like in English too,
Yeah,
there is no reason to have the category of slang because it's not related to anything in real life.
yeah, yeah. It is a totally arbitrary thing. But let's talk about the history here. So I found two theories on two different articles. One was that it was used to refer to like basically prison or jail, and the original term was yaba, and
Hmm.
it was also used as like an adjectival noun, like yaba na koto. And this was
A criminal.
like, well, like basically this yaba was when it was used in this way, it was like dangerous, like it was a negative
Okay.
thing.
Like I said
So
earlier, I do think danger is very heavily tied to the negative.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, so back in the day, it was like be careful, right? Like yaba, yaba na koto. And then this eventually got turned into an adjective by adding the e. So originally, it does seem to have had the negative meaning, and then at some point, it came to uh, have this wider meaning, and it came to also be used in a positive sense. The other thing that I saw was yaba, as in like an archery range. Ya is arrow, right? Like from
Arrow,
archery.
yeah, yeah. Yumiya.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to guess how you jump from archery to like
Well, it,
danger. I guess because there's arrows flying.
well, no, it's more complicated than that. We're going deep into the underworld here. So so apparently there were these places that were like the front of the business was like, the yaba, the I guess like archery place, but in the back was like the prostitution. Right? So this
Yeah,
came
because when I think prostitution, I think archery.
so that came to be associated as kind of like a shady place, right? Like, steamy underworld. And so then yaba came to take on that meaning, and then again, same pattern. Eventually it turned into an adjective, and yabai, good meaning, came out of that. So I'm not sure which it is. I don't know if like it's known, or who knows, but the point is that back in the like Edo period, it does seem like this was a negative term, came from yaba. It was not an adjective at first, but then eventually it did turn into an adjective, and now it's like we were saying, it can be good or bad, just kind of extreme in either way.
I just thinking it's like in the Japanese notes here, we have Sugoku E like written down there,
Mhm.
which means like super good. So I'm just thinking like if we had someone from Edo period like come to us today and somebody like came out of a concert for like their favorite band, I was like, yabai! And like, oh, it must be super dangerous. I should avoid that place and see like how they feel.
They like start running away.
Yeah, yeah. This AKB-48 sounds really deadly.
Yeah, like, or they're like, so where's the arrows?
Yeah. They just duck for cover
Like,
immediately.
yeah, I came for the arrows, guys. Where are they? But this trend of something bad becoming good is something that happens in
That's
plenty of other
weirdly common
languages.
in Japan.
Oh yeah, in
Or good
Japan too.
becoming bad,
Yeah.
like kisama and stuff.
Kisama, teme, like these pronouns. No, omae, omae. Sorry, I was thinking omae.
Yeah, like, to
Um,
me, I think was always bad.
yeah, yeah. But also like, for example, awesome, right? Like awesome originally
Mhm.
was more of like a scary thing, like this awe,
Yeah, you're
something that
full of
inspires.
awe.
Yeah, like God is gonna smite you kind of awe, right? And now awesome is like, yo, I just did a gnarly 180 on my skateboard, and it was totally awesome, right? Like that's how everybody talks. But it went from bad, kind of in a loosely bad sense meaning, to a wholly good meaning. People don't generally say like awesome in a more scary sense,
It's
unless you're.
still
It is,
sometimes
especially in the religious sense. Um,
Yeah, like beware his awesome power or something
yes.
like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's around, but it's not as common as the
Yeah.
positive usage that we get these days. Yeah. So nothing unique there, but it is interesting
I
nonetheless.
mean, technically, awesome and awful are like the same word.
That is true. Yeah. Very true. Very true. Yeah.
They both mean full of awe.
Yeah. They're full of literally full of
They literally, it's like the same thing.
yeah. Yeah. And awesome should be less than awful because it's only got some awe, right?
That's true. Awesome just means it's like of awe. Awful means it's full of awe.
Yeah. It's all
I guess if you have just a little bit of awe, it's more of a good feeling, but when it's too much awe, it's bad.
yeah, it really is awe inspiring at that point. Yeah. But anyway, yabai, that's what we were talking about. So yeah, a lot of these words, like I said, Edo period, into the Meiji or whatever, but it is interesting to see how many of these words that are pretty common still these days trace their origins back to not just Edo period, but like shady street merchants or just, underworld kind of people, kind of people hiding from the police and that kind of stuff. So I thought I came across this list and it was a Japanese list and I thought it was pretty interesting. I'll include the link if anybody wants to see the original Japanese list. And then I did cross-reference some of the stuff in other articles, but I'll just include the main list that included the 10 entries that we went over today. But if you have any questions or any ideas for future episodes, send us an email over to mail@japankyo.com. You can join the Patreon and DM me directly. That would support the show. And don't forget to subscribe. So, anything else, Ryan?
やばい。
やばいね。本当にやばいね。今日はやばかったね。いやー、
うん、マジやばかった。
もうマジやばかった。もうやばすぎてもうね、やばいしか言えないもんね。もうやばい。もうじゃあ、皆さん、じゃあ、次回までやばくしようぜ。See you next time.
やばくしようぜ。
やばくしようぜ。All right, see you next time.
See ya.